My name is Kiani, and this is my YouTube application for RA. So the first question is, explain what being a role model means to you and share an example of a time you served as a role model. How is this related to the resident assistant, RA, and slash or community manager, CM position? So being a role model means being someone who has traits, good traits, that other people can draw from and use them in their own life. So you are a point of reference to be better. A time that I served as a role model is actually I served as a role model a lot of times, but I think this time I'll use an example. Me and my mother. So when I was a kid, me and my mother had a very, very rocky relationship, and I had to be the adult in most situations. As I got older and as I started knowing my place as daughter and understanding the dynamics between mother and daughter, I started exhibiting certain personality traits that I thought would help me get out of the situation that I was in. After a while, me and my mother started becoming closer. And she, even though she still had her issues, she would draw from the personality traits that I had cultivated in my own life and cultivated against her when we were arguing to be better. So in a lot of ways, sometimes my mom just tells me that when it comes to my demeanor and my countenance, she looks up to me and she wants to be more like me in that way. This is related to the RA and CM position because for a lot of people, your RA is the only source of role model you have, especially nearby in your housing facility. Most students, especially freshmen, come in here not knowing none of what's going on. They have to have that experience and they have to have someone more experienced to talk to. I was blessed because I had friends and family who were much older than me that I could look up to and talk to. But a lot of the people who come in here just don't have that. Being a role model is important because as an RA, you will be expected to deal with a lot of conflict. That's your job, dealing with conflict. And if you can't do that in a healthy manner, then no one will be able to use the tools that you have cultivated in their own lives. So that's part of being a role model. So the second question is, think about a time that you worked with someone different from you to achieve a common goal. What did you learn? So I remember I have a very type B personality. I'm very outgoing, very go with the flow. I do everything relaxed. And one of my best friends was very, very type A. She's very neurotic, very plan. If I don't plan, I'm going to die. So the common goal was that we had a friend, and my friend who was type A had a problem with the other friend. The goal was to get them to talk and communicate without it devolving into a slap fest. So I had to talk to both of them. The other friend was very, very type B. He was also neurodivergent, which made understanding social cues a lot harder for him. So I remember having to spend a lot of time with both of them explaining how the other one felt, and you never really think about it, but sympathy and empathy, a lot of people don't really use it as often as they say it does. It's something that has to be taught and learned a lot of the time, which is sad, but with the information age that we're in now, we're just desensitized to a lot of things, so things don't hit us as hard as they used to anymore. And I feel like that's one reason why I had to explain sympathy and empathy and how to apply it to their day-to-day. And at the end of the day, they were all okay. They eventually stopped being friends simply because they couldn't figure out how to understand each other. But the common goal was initially solved, was my help. I did learn from that instance that not everyone can get along. Not everyone is meant to be friends. Different values break up relationships more often than we'll ever think they do, simply because people are their values. They're their politics, they're their values, they're the morals that they build their personality on. If you get with someone or you're friends with someone who are, or even if you're rooming with someone and your values are mixed matched, there will be conflict. And depending on your role models, depending on who you look up to, your ability to solve that conflict could be compromised. And that's all everything is about.